sheet.
Good enough.
Yeah, no, it looks good enough for me.
Wait, where's the...
Oh,
It's gone. We're not using. We're making it fake.
Right.
Fake podcast.
Start.
And podcast.
Welcome to the Brown Bricks Podcast. The most amount of fun you can have while listening to a podcast.
Good podcast.
Yeah.
Also, if you're interested, email brownbrickspodcast@gmail.com. The most emails you can send to an email.
Today we have
A special guest in the studio today.
The studio.
In the stew. We call the thing that we record the pod in the stew.
The stew.
Yeah.
Matt, get out of the stew.
Don't say you guys aren't allowed to say my name though. The whole
Wait,
time.
is Matt
That's
here?
cool.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Did we not say your name already?
So this is
Yeah.
Hello.
Now he's back.
Introduce yourself.
Got any
to
hot
everybody?
takes that holds you want to get out?
Mostly
He can't
racial.
defend himself.
The hottest of hot takes.
Well, you've already been on the pod at least once, where you went on a number of anti-homeless rants.
Yeah.
That's true.
Classic
It
number
runs-
5, and now he's back for number 25.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the 25th episode of the podcast.
Yeah, we
Congratulations.
Coming up on half a year of podcast.
Yeah, no.
Technically a year, because we have the backup we haven't put out, so we've technically recorded this for a fucking year now, or half a year.
Yeah.
Half a year, yeah. That's pretty crazy. Well, let's get right into the real news.
What's the real
The
news?
real news I want to discuss today. Something fun, something light. Actually.
Oh god damn it.
So do you guys know what musume is?
No.
Horse
No.
girl.
Oh yeah. The
Okay.
one I saw the one clip of the one like emo horse girl winning, and then no one ever was booing her.
I don't know what you're talking. It's like the anime game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's like a anime game called Uma Musume. It has an anime as well, but it's based on like real Japanese race horses, and like it's got like okay horse girl designs and stuff. But the funniest thing about it is that you're not allowed to draw porn of these horse girl characters
Wait,
if
really?
you are an artist in
Well,
Japan.
How do they stop that?
They don't stop it.
Is it because
but
of like bestiality laws or something? Or like what?
no, it's actually
That's not
more
a problem for
interesting.
Japan, and we know
The real horses that these horse girls are based off of are owned by the yakuza. And so they have like their hand in all the gambling and stuff like that, horse racing in Japan, and so they don't allow people to draw lewds of the horse girl characters.
They don't
And
want
so-
to defame them.
Yeah, they don't. Literally, that's what it is. They don't want any kind of defamation on the characters. So there's been like multiple Japanese artists that have had to like formally apologize for drawing
And fucking
porn
commit
on
Sudoku after.
Are they allowed to
These
kind of
horse girl
like test the
characters.
waters and see how sexy they can make them before they get in trouble?
I'm not sure what the limit is, but I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to draw any ass or titty of
What?
these characters.
Well, I
What
mean,
about-
they naturally have ass and titties. 'cause
Well,
they're
yeah, I
horse
mean, you
girls.
can draw like fan art.
Look,
and
what
stuff
you got
that
to
you're not gonna
do
get pressed
is you
about.
got to make a fan art of them wearing like a tank top, and then just keep releasing these versions of that tank top art where the nipples are more visible. Through
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then
See
you
where
can.
they
What was the one thing
knock
on
on your
Snapchat
door.
where people were like, "Ooh, like and then I turn off the lights, and then you can like kind of see an outline of me, but I'm actually naked under this." And people were just able to see like, okay, I can just turn up the exposure a little bit, and now I can just see you naked. People were doing that for a little bit. What if you could do the same thing, but with the horse girl thing, where it's like cool outline of this horse girl, and you turn up like the
Yakuza.
contrast on it. The Yakuza are like, nani?
I think that's, like people were getting in trouble over it, and I just think that's funny. That's like the one thing that you can't rule 34 in Japan.
That's hilarious. Well, I assume America, the land of the free, home of the free.
Nobody really cares here in America, but out of like respect, I feel like a lot of the artists aren't going to do it because they're like, that might piss other people off.
Yeah, I mean, I probably should.
If you're an artist in America listening to this, pretend to be a Japanese artist, a real one, and draw these lewds so that they get killed.
Yeah.
Pretend to be somebody else.
Wouldn't it be really funny if
Executed
there's
by
like
the
a fucking like a national news story because there's the guy who is like a really shitty fan artist and it's like this horribly proportioned like disgusting like titty picture of these horse girls and he got
Really
killed by the
amateurish.
Yakuza. It's like you messed with
all the way from Japan, they came here just to kill one man who drew really bad art.
Yeah, well,
For this image.
These horse
Destroy
girls
them,
are like
dude.
they're
And these-
jockeys then. So like
No,
run?
no, they just
jockeys,
run.
They are
They
the
just
horse
like
girls.
in the anime.
They race each
versions
other?
of real
Yeah, they
horses.
race each other.
On
In
two
the
feet?
anime, they're like horse racers. But
Oh.
like, what they do is like they're the horses, but they
So
just
it's like
run really
track?
fast.
It's
and
like
there's no
track.
jockey.
It's basically
yeah, it's
like
just
track.
track.
Do
So
they have a
people
long
bet on
bus?
them, but like that's the aspect.
No,
Like
they're
the
Is it betting
idea,
on
no,
the-
no, not on the anime. The idea, right, is that it's real horses, just like they have anime girl versions for this anime.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like I guess because I watched like one clip of the anime and it seemed like there was more of like a storyline going on where it's like this is the protagonist horse and all of these horses are like the evil race horse girls and they had like horse
It's a-
racing names so it made sense.
It's a gotcha game, so
Oh, it's a gotcha.
yeah,
game.
that makes sense. Gotcha.
yeah.
It's a gotcha game.
They're like we gotta get all these people
There you go.
addicted to
Page.
horse racing betting.
Yeah.
Anime.
Get them while they're young.
That's not a bad idea. Making fucking like gotcha games based off of shit people are already addicted to.
Yeah. Well,
So,
because
like we know that's our market.
Horse
I feel
racing
like
is
they're
good.
actually that's a pretty easy sell. Like if
Right.
you're like, hey, you're already into like gotcha games and stuff. Come and if you like win this bet, you can win this
Are
limited
there-
edition figure
Are
of this
there
horse
like
girl.
I have an
old
idea for
Japanese
gotcha.
guys that like smoke at the racetrack or stuff or whatever, and they're like
I
betting
bet.
on like horse racing, but then they also like play Uma Musume
Yeah,
on their phone.
I bet it's like a slightly nicer vibe to like a pachinko parlor.
Yeah.
No, but here's what they should do for a gotcha game, right? To get people addictive personalities, Bud Light comes out with the gotcha game where all their seltzer flavors have anthropomorphic anime girl versions.
Okay.
Oh,
And-
holy shit, holy
Right.
shit.
Aki can, okay.
No, I'm
No,
I'm
Jack-
writing this down.
and then all these
Follow
addicted
it.
alcoholics are like, ugh, I gotta get... and they like tie it in, so they're like, oh, if you get this girl and show it to a gas station worker, you're entitled to a free Bud Light.
And it's like, check out the cans on this one.
Oh. But the idea is that they're already people who get addicted to stuff easily, alcoholics. Although you may not want to go seltzers because that's probably not what alcoholics are drinking.
No,
You
but
can
that's
make
the
them
easiest.
colorful,
No,
though.
but that's the easiest
True.
way to go into like.
That's
to
the
get
most
into
easiest
alcohol.
transition to anime girls
Yeah.
from
Colorful.
existing.
Because if
Yeah.
somebody, they're just like, all right, it's just kind of like a soda, and then they start drinking,
I
and then
mean-
you can get them hooked on like
True,
just
yeah.
sad things.
I mean, yeah, and then the flip side of it is, you know, on one hand you're trying to get alcoholics addicted to gotcha games, but you're also trying to get weebs addicted to alcohol.
Mhm.
So you're
That's
kinda,
both ways.
yeah, no.
Maybe if you put a face on here with the mouth opening up.
Oh yeah. So what if you tried to stick your dick into a can?
thousands in hospital. Penis sliced open.
Unwanted circumcision.
I like how the moment you said that, we all thought of the exact same scenario. We were like-
Oh god.
no, but I think that you could probably sell like a 40 with like an anime girl
Yeah,
40.
yeah.
An anime girl 40 is just slightly shaped the plastic like a anime girl.
Yeah, give it a little bit of curves.
Yeah.
Got some curves on those cans. Imagine doing Edward 40 hands, but you have two anime
Two
women in
anime
your hands
bitches.
that you're drinking
What
out
if
of.
they sold like a one-use pocket pussy with each one?
One use.
Yeah.
Well, how would you?
It's
How would you
drugs after
delineate
you
that?
It's really, well, it's
It's
cheaply
made-
made.
Oh no,
It's made
there's
out of
breaks
tightly
the-
packed powder, so when you nut, it just dissolves.
No, you could probably make something. Well, is there like anything that would only be corrosive specifically to cum? Imagine if it's just like I gotta come
Get
outside
the
my.
sizes together.
I gotta come outside my pocket pussy.
Like pocket can.
We've come up with
Biodegradable
so many
only
good
with
ideas
semen.
on this podcast. We've made people millions at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we're just not capitalizing
Business
on it
ideas
ourselves.
are being whisked away.
yeah. There's like the only people who listen to this podcast are boardrooms of executives, and they're like, "That's a good idea." Movie about 9/11 coming.
Yeah, this was.
Tim Cook is listening. He's like, yes, give us more ideas.
Tim
The next Apple product. Or Tim Cook.
Tim Cook's
Tim
the
Apple.
Apple man. Yeah.
Yeah, Tim
I
Apple.
was about to go, no, Tim Pool, but that's not right.
Yeah, definitely not Tim.
Definitely not that guy.
That's our audience. That's our audience. Tim Cook and Tim Pool.
Yeah.
If you're somewhere in there, then
And they're having a debate while listening.
Yeah.
You guys thought about starting a beef with a different podcast to kind of...
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
looking
the
at
Bad Bricks
Oh, yeah,
podcast.
Bad Bricks.
And they just kind of canceled themselves. Like, they haven't uploaded anything recently because one of the guys went on this really racist tirade recently, and it was like, they uploaded, it was really funny. They uploaded, like, to their clip channel, and they're like, Bad Bricks podcast gets canceled, and it's a guy, like, going on this really not cool tirade against, like, a bunch of different things, and everyone in the comments is like, why would you post this?
I want to see this.
Why would you? They were like,
Dude, I love the live streams because they would just be like ranting about Trump, and then people with like Lego profiles would be like, "Can you please talk about the Harry Potter set?"
The new Star Wars 501st Legion sets out. What do you think about this, Tommy
Like,
and Billy?
they're asking like the people who are talking about like building a border wall and how we should like. It would just like he's the weirdest combination of Lego man. I guess you know what. The more I think about it, the more like a guy who's very obsessed with Legos being very into Trump and like very pro-Christian makes a lot of sense.
You're
Just-
gonna be also like upper middle class as well. You can afford
he was definitely not low. Well,
Those
that's
things
true
are
with all
expensive.
Legos.
Yeah.
Like you have to.
Yeah, that's what we're
I
saying.
think it's the desire to build, kind of capitalism.
I like
build
it. Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He says you're just tearing it
Lego.
down. He's like socialists want to take little pieces of your Lego
Your Lego
from your big Star Wars
Anniversary
anniversary collection.
Christmas fucking
Christmas special Star
Anniversary
Wars
set.
Wookiee house, and
really?
they want to put it on their little shitty Legos.
Really, what it is these like whatever candidate gets the most oil, I choose because that's what plastic's made out of.
Oh, shit,
And I need
yeah.
as many Legos as
Well,
possible.
Legos are from Denmark.
Antifa
though.
looted Legoland.
Yeah, but if the U.S. has more
What?
oil, it's, they influence world politics.
Yeah, Legolands
Denmark.
where they set up the second autonomous
Yeah,
zone.
so, one thing I never really figured out about those guys is are they like set purists or do they like to build like stuff outside the sets?
Well, no,
Just,
he
like,
commissions
there's
like
less
specific
spirits,
Legos because he was
Oh,
talking
really?
about how he got like commissioned to build like a Trump Mandalorian, and so he built that. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that he gets commissioned to like build stuff, and then
Sure.
he'll like do that. So I guess he's not a set purist.
Could you build a Trump Mandalorian for me?
It was Lego
yeah.
commissioning him.
What are the dimensions you think?
How big?
They commissioned a big old statue for Legoland. That'd be tight.
Yeah, of Trump.
And then we smash it to make a statement.
Yeah, that'll show him.
Show him.
I wish Trump did get a Legoland statue and he like tweeted out about it. It's like no other president in U.S. history.
You'd need a lot of orange bricks.
Yeah, they make
Oh.
Lego Mar-a-Lago at Legoland with the life-size Mar-a-Lago made out of Legos. That'd be fun, right?
Mar-a-Lago?
Who's Mar-a-Lago?
That's where Trump lives.
Oh,
Now.
It's like where he was constantly staying during the.
pandemic.
Oh,
No, when
it's
during
not
his
funny that you
presidency.
guys don't understand that.
No, I know Mar-a-Lago. Yeah.
At least you don't.
It's real.
It's a real place.
We just didn't
He
speak
called it
up.
like the second White House or some shit because he was there
Yeah.
so often during his presidency.
That's cool of him to name it that himself.
Yeah.
He beat the media to it.
He's a fucking loser, yeah.
Yeah. So, you guys hear about the most recent Dream drama?
No, I have not actually.
Dreamer.
You briefly.
They're still
alluded
talking
to it.
about that fucking
Is he a
statistics
pedophile
thing.
now?
No, he's just
other stuff.
it's
now?
other
No, he's not.
stuff.
I mean, like, his fans are just, like, reaching another whole level of, like,
Oh, it's just fan base is
sadistic
annoying.
stuff. Well, yeah, he's also, like, really weird about it because like we've talked about it before where like there's crazy people in his fan base who have like drawn like gore porn with
Yeah,
him and
of
stuff.
like him getting killed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he went on Casey Tron, who's like a famous Twitch streamer's. Dreams fans were like trying to cancel Casey Tron or something like that. And
Yeah,
were
they're
being
weirdly,
really
they're
toxic.
fucking weird as hell. But then like all those like Minecraft YouTuber fan bases are also like,
We're so ooh.
well, they're
they're
like we're so progressive.
Yeah.
Like, that's the real cancel culture,
Yeah.
not like liberals on Twitter. It's fucking the fan bases of Minecraft.
Liberals on Twitter do their fair
Who think
share.
that if you say, who think that if you make like a gay joke, they're like they're evil.
But they try to be like so ooh wholesome all the time, and they're just like busy telling other people to kill themselves in their like replies.
But it's
or
because
whatever.
they were being unwholesome. So
Yeah.
that's how you
true,
got to
that's
do
true.
it.
That would be fair. If somebody was being a little bit unwholesome, they should kill themselves.
What if Dream came out and he said, "I have sex"? Would they kill him?
They would. I want to see the mob. Like,
just a video of an 8-year-old crying, like, I can't believe
I
this.
want to see the mob, like, drag Dream out of the house like it's the fucking French Revolution. Just tear him to pieces.
That's like the last thing I want to, like, when I see that, I know society is lost. Like,
Like, some art of this.
No, that would be fucking hilarious to witness,
They
like,
would
some,
separate
like,
them into
helicopter
5
footage.
perfect rectangular prisms.
Then they ascend.
Some helicopter footage of, like, a massive crowd of, like, it's like the end of Devilman Crybaby, where they've just got the torches around his house and just
and they're
put his
holding
head
up,
on
like...
a pike or whatever.
That's the second to last episode of Devilman
Yeah,
Crybaby.
you're right.
They ended on that.
So, but basically, he went on Casey Tron's stream to, like, talk to her about it or whatever. I don't know why the fuck he even did that, because it's not like he had any personal responsibility in it, but he does have some responsibility towards how his fan base acts, I feel like. Every content creator kind of does.
I feel like they do and they don't, in a way, where it's like, they do if
You do
they're
and you
like...
don't, but...
If they're, like, specifically, like, calling people out, where it's like, alright, Casey Tron, I hate her, she's the worst, go cancel her. It's like, yeah, of course, but there's also, like, more subtle ways of that. But when they're just, like, insane, and you don't, and they've made a bunch of fan art of you, like, getting gored, and then, like, turning you into a chair, it's like, how much can you really be, like, real in it?
At a certain level, I agree that, like, you can't perfectly control everyone, so you're not entirely responsible for the actions. At the same time, like, I think he is responsible for doing some sort of denouncing and, like...
Yeah, which is why I assume he went on the
fan
stream.
base.
Yeah, well, he went on the stream, and they were asking him, like, can you please say to, like, either fans that are doing this, like, please don't do this kind of thing. Please don't tell people to kill themselves. And his response was very non-committal, very much like, I denounce all kinds of hate of all kinds against anyone. Like, can you please denounce specifically this stuff? It's like, all hate is bad. I don't...
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, like, doing the thing where he's like, I gotta walk the line between not pissing off my fans so that I keep being successful.
So
and
that
also,
I keep my life.
And also trying to have people not cancel me. Which his plan for the longest time was probably just ignore it and let them do whatever. And he would.
Well, I assume
it's not even true, because he'll always post on his Twitter like, "Oh, just because like the smallest amount of Dream fans are toxic means you're like," but you call out all of them. You're generalizing all Dream fans, and it's like, why are you saying that? You know these people are fucking insane. Just don't say anything if you're gonna say anything at all.
Well, he's got to do that because like the people in his corner are just like, well, yeah, of course, that's not all of us. Even if it is a majority of them, they've got to be like, no.
Of course, it's not fucking all of them, but a lot of them are pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
Dude, shit like that where it's like. People bothering to clarify it's not literally all of them, or like people are like, it's just my penis. Like, these are things that don't need to be clarified.
These don't need to be said. These are fucking unhelpful statements you're making.
These are things that everyone was on the same page about, and now you are just distracting the real conversation to being like, it's not all of them. It's like, yeah, I know, but it's a lot.
Who fucking cares?
It's no
enough
good.
of them that it's bad.
Fine, we'll talk about just the toxic ones.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them.
Okay.
Please address that part at least.
How about, because it's like, it's not all of them, and it's like, so you're admitting there is some of them that are doing
exactly.
this.
Yeah, one
Maybe
thing
call
that
those
weirds
guys
me
out.
out about like a lot of those Minecraft people is like, there's like one really popular one, like Tommy Innit, I think his name is. He's like 12 years old or some shit.
He's like actually in school. He's still going to school.
He's like a fucking baby child, and people are like, ooh, he's so fucking baby and cute, and I want him to fuck this other Minecraft YouTuber boy. And I'm like,
what?
What the fuck is
There's a
this
lot
shit?
of weird gay shipping, yeah.
I just don't
What's wrong
I don't
with
understand.
Oh no, man.
I don't understand how people like, because I see it on Twitter, and it's one of those things where like you'll see like the tweet, and it'll just be like Dream and this guy are trending because everyone's making gay fan fiction. I don't understand people who are like, well, I don't know anything about this, but I should research this. Like, I should understand what's going on here, because I still see a bunch of people who talk about it, even though they're like, isn't that so weird? And I'm like, why do you know about this? Why do you care? Like, why do you have any inkling of what's going on in these communities? You can completely separate yourself from, like, all Dream drama, because it's not interesting or cool.
The only cool one, the statistic one was cool.
You?
Like, I like
5-year-olds, literal...
The statistics one, yeah, that one's funny.
That was fun.
Like, this is like over the internet. You're not meeting like.
No, I'm not
friends.
meeting. I'm meeting real people who do this. I'm meeting
real people.
Wait,
No,
what?
I'm not meeting
Oh,
real
okay,
people who are doing. I'm meeting fucking
No,
stupid internet people.
I've never met anyone in real life yet who's like, unironically into like Dream and Minecraft YouTubers. Like, I miss the old days of the Yogscast when a Minecraft YouTuber played Minecraft or whatever, and it wasn't all about the gay shipping.
So I haven't met any Dream people in real life.
Can I
What
say
if
that?
all
No.
accounts?
We
Wait,
gotta
hold
talk
on.
about something other than Minecraft after this, so Liam can actually.
Wait, but before we do this, what if all of the because I've never met anyone who actually likes Dream. What if every single account that follows him is fake, and he's just like propagating all of this fan stuff by himself?
Like those like cyber futuristic like fingers
Yeah,
that like
the
separate and
billion
type
fingers.
super
the ones
fast.
from like
He's
Ghost in the
using
Shell
those,
are just like.
Damn, that's why he cheated.
Yeah,
That's
So Liam-
how he cheated.
how's it
Yeah,
going?
That's how he hacked his
going
Minecraft.
well.
That's cool.
Any
Reading
fun
any
topics?
good books lately?
Hey, what does your shirt say?
Slender.
Oh, you used to work there. Any fun stories?
Oh yeah, so many goofy people and
That's
crazy
crazy.
stuff happened. It was great.
Tell them about the cabbage, huh?
Oh yeah, we made cabbage, it's purple
Yeah.
cabbage, and we
It was purple,
we
right?
eat it with our bare hands as we made it.
Yeah. It's
She mix it back in.
Okay.
had
That's
some-
why would you do that?
It's part of the job. It's part of the job.
Have
Happy
you fried up-
25th episode of the
You
podcast.
fry that shit
No, we're
back
only
up.
600 bars in and we got so much more time.
I'm out of topics.
We can talk about...
I had some ramen the other day that had like blue specks on the noodles, so I was like, "Is this mold?" And then they called up the restaurant or whatever, and it was apparently from the purple cabbage.
Yeah.
But the purple cabbage wasn't anywhere near the fucking other noodles, so I'm like,
Well, I mean, I guess if
I'm
you
not-
if you
why
pulled
is it-
something out of the purple cabbage, would that make it blue cabbage? Like, what kind of chemical, if you pulled it out, would that make it blue cabbage?
well,
kinda-
it makes
what
it
kind of blue?
made blue noodles.
It was
the
blue
noodles
cheese
were
noodles.
blue.
Oh, the noodles were blue.
The noodles were like had a little bit of blue flecks on them, so, like specks all over them. And I'm
Oh,
like, this looks like
interesting.
mold or something.
That is weird, yeah. What if they were just covering their ass? They were like, that's
Yeah,
so
they
mold.
my mom called them and they were like called us her back or like we did an experiment with some noodles and it was
In
because of the
5
cabbage.
minutes, yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
Imagine,
I'll eat it, but okay.
all experiments are done within 5 minutes and tested vigorously, and then it's like, yeah, it's done. I guess
And
it was the
done
cabbage.
At the
You
response
should have
of
asked them
customer
what the
complaints.
control
Yeah.
Let me see your fucking scientific breakdown.
What was the
Yeah.
control ramen?
Oh yeah. No, I think if you don't give me an entire report on this,
Yeah.
then I don't believe that.
What's the abstract on
Yeah.
the experiment?
What alpha levels do you have? Is it possible that
What's
this
the
is?
PubMed ID on
Yeah.
this? I didn't know this.
Yeah, we're scientists on this podcast. We know what the fuck we're
Yeah,
talking
I got
about.
35 on the science section of the ACT, so
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just fucking reading comp.
No,
It is.
that is.
That's a fucking.
How much of
biggest
science
joke.
is just like?
is that not what all of science is?
Yeah, exactly. Is that not what all of life is? Just reading
Reading
comprehension.
comprehension, truly. That was like I did my MFT today, which is like an assessment exam for my major.
And you made a neon cat photo sell for
Yeah.
$1 billion.
Yeah, an MFT. But I got like the 88th percentile when like I was like so confused going into it. I was thinking it was going to be pretty hard because I am bad at what I do for school. And then I came out of that like, if you did this poorly, you're a fucking moron.
But like you got
did-
above the average. So.
I got way above the average,
Yeah.
which is like
you were freaking out about it. You were like, oh,
I was kinda
failed
stressed.
the
Yeah.
fucking thing, and like you
I was
got
stressed.
88th percentile.
well, because like I did very poorly on the practice test. And the practice test was
Okay.
harder than that.
Uh-huh.
Like a lot of it was just like basic logic stuff. If you've been paying the minimum amount of attention,
Yeah.
yes, it's like
Well, I mean, the fact that you go to the classes means that you're probably doing better than most of the kids that are there.
I don't know. Maybe that's true. I guess, but I feel like people. I don't
So is
know.
it
I guess
88th net like nationwide for this
I
test?
think it's nationwide. Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
it's a standardized test across all schools, which is
Hmm.
interesting.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it.
Hey.
There's so many smart people there that like you kind of get like a skewed idea of what the average intelligence was, which sounds so pretentious, but it's kind of true. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my argument with Chris.
Yeah, but no, even
Chris
as,
is not.
Chris is a hyper
All right,
genius.
we'll set that aside. I'll make my
No.
point, and then we'll talk about Chris.
We will talk about
It was
Chris.
even more confusing for me there because I was so ahead of the average at BT.
Yeah.
When I got in the real world, it was shocking.
It was
No,
shocking.
I'm
You're like, is everyone just a stupid mongoloid?
Kind of.
As I'm working at Jimmy John's, people will talk. I'm like, damn, so this is really what the average level is.
Yeah.
You got a good sample size.
Well, I mean-
you're out west too, like so, like you'll have like affluent people, right?
Well, also
no.
like,
Not working at Jimmy.
Not working
John's.
at Jimmy John's.
I mean, like,
Oh, working. I thought you meant like the people.
no, I
coming
mean,
through.
I can't tell their intelligence based off their sandwich order.
That's what
I
they were
mean,
well, the one guy who ordered like pickles.
Yeah, the guy who ordered a sandwich that was just mayo and pickles, and it was a giant size. Like that guy made.
Yeah.
But like he also
Something
might just
going
be
on.
high. I don't know.
Why even
I-
go to Jimmy John's for that?
Yeah.
A guy walked in and he ordered just a Diet Coke, and it's like, why did you come in?
Did you want to use a bathroom or something? Is that...
No, he didn't go to the bathroom. He wanted a Diet Coke.
Damn, that sounds like something you'd do if you were just like really fucking.
If we really
I
wanted
would
to-
at least
really
get, like,
jonesing for a Diet Coke, and you're like, there's nothing around.
Yeah, are you living in a fucking food desert? Is your Jimmy John's
No.
like the only thing in like a
We're
2
really
mile
not.
radius?
Also,
Yeah.
just needed
It's
mayo
either
and
that or they
pickles.
eat grass.
He was out of mayo and pickles at his house.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like, can you give me a large?
he's making a sandwich at home. He's like, I have no mayo in the supermarket. So he goes home with this giant sized extra mayo sandwich, and he's just he's scraping it off with a knife.
No, this is-
It's like, we have mayo packets. You could have ordered
No,
that.
this is one of
Could've
those
told me
like
that before.
this is one of those sitcom scenarios where like it's the wife or the father or whatever, and like the in-laws are in town, and they're like, we're really excited for those mayo and turkey sandwiches, and it's like, oh no, we forgot the mayo, but all the supermarket's closed, and they have to go grab that, and then they're like scraping it off, and they have to like hide it behind themselves.
It's like the Simpsons meme where it's like, I have a devilish plan.
Delightfully devilish, Seymour.
This mayo tasting awful like the mayo they had down at Jimmy John's.
There's you guys inscribe your. Well, I don't know how you do that. I was gonna say you have like a watermark on your mayo. So they open their sandwich and there's a little JJ on there.
It's like a little letter stamp.
Yeah.
Branded with insignia of Hellman's.
So
Yeah,
does the
every-
larger when you get like a full, so larger than little mayo packets, they just come in bigger and bigger packets?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
gotta
You
cut
get
a
the
quarter out of
store-
the giant one.
It's like the milk bags that you can get in Canada.
That'd be fun, like a giant novelty ketchup packet or something.
It'd be
like
awful.
that.
I'd hate that. Like ketchup is like I don't know. Ketchup's okay when you're like eating it with something, but the like ketchup by itself is pretty fucking gross to me. I just like look at like
Oh,
whenever I
yeah.
see like whenever
Most
you like
condiments, yeah.
yeah. So like the idea of having a giant ketchup packet where if you open it you can't like
You can't
re-lid
close
that.
it.
It's just like you're gonna use that entire thing of ketchup.
Remember when what's her face Parker had a food fight for her birthday? when
Yeah.
we were
Oh yeah,
kids?
I didn't
great.
know.
Yeah, Parker.
I remember that.
I don't remember that
I
shit.
remember
at all.
having-
What? Oh wait, you were
I
here third
might
grade, right?
not been.
No, he was
invited.
second grade.
I came
You
in
weren't invited.
halfway through.
He was yeah. He was
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
There were three second
grade.
graders.
They
This
knew
was
I
three
was
and a
too
half.
good at food fights. They're like, we can't bring them.
I think
Maybe
that's
maybe you
dominate.
weren't cool. You were kind of weird, so maybe they just didn't
Put 'em in.
That was probably one of the most disgusting like feelings I've ever had on my body.
You
I
didn't think that was fun?
it
when
was
you were third
fun,
grade?
but it just
Did you
like
cry?
afterwards, and you're like covered in like food and ketchup and mustard.
I
and
never
shit.
got the appeal.
And I'm like,
I don't think I went to that one, but
It's like
No,
when
they
you're
had, like,
jacking
they had, like-
off, you're like, oh, I should come on my face. But afterwards,
yeah, I should give myself a facial. Like the guys from Girls Do Porn are like, you know how this is gonna end? It's like, yeah, and a facial, and you're like, yeah, it is. And you do a little arc, and then it plops onto your
yeah, do you
face.
think facials are like fun for the girl at the start, and then they're like,
No, every time anybody, so from my extensive knowledge of casting porn, every time they're just like, you're gonna do a facial today, they're like, and mess up my makeup, like, where, like, no one's just like, yeah, everyone's like, okay, I guess you paid me, so this is what we're doing. I don't get a flight back if I don't do the facial, so,
I was thinking the other day about when God made Eve, you know how he took one of Adam's ribs?
Yeah.
yeah.
The real story is he took two of his ribs and Adam immediately started sucking his own cock.
No,
no! One rib back.
Get him back. He has to like really bend down on one side.
And then Adam immediately spitefully ate the apple off the tree.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he steals it
Yeah.
from
So-
Eve.
Don't let me suck my own cock, God.
Yeah. No, he's trying to gain knowledge to suck his own cock again. He's like, there has to be some way.
What it was is before there was Adam and Eve, there was other people, and he removed 2 ribs from them, and when he ate the apple, he's like, I can suck my own dick.
I like the idea that, like,
that was the forbidden knowledge.
No, the forbidden, when God's like, why are you wearing clothes? It's like, we just kept sucking our own dicks, so we had to cover them up.
We had to put cloth in the way, or else we would never stop sucking our own cock.
Yeah. Like, every, like, the original sin of man, it has nothing to do with knowledge. It's just about how much they suck their own dicks.
Yeah.
Everything else is a byproduct of that.
You have to make it an inconvenience for them with
Yeah.
clothing.
Yeah.
And on the
Women
5th
are-
day, God gave man more ribs.
Women
so
are
that he could not
naturally-
suck his own cock.
Women are naturally more flexible, so can they?
They
eat
can suck their own
themselves out?
cocks, for sure.
Yeah. Can they like reach their head all the way between their thighs?
Eating yourself out is easier than, or harder than sucking your own cock, because with
Well,
that,
you
like...
go further.
Yeah,
down,
exactly.
but
Well,
you're
there has
more
to...
flexible as a
Yeah,
woman.
exactly. Like, you'd just be, like, licking your fucking taint, or you'd be, like...
Maybe,
Your
Yeah, you'd be,
taint?
like, licking your
Damn.
belly.
Oh, that. Well, yeah. I mean, if you didn't make it, yeah.
Yeah, well, I assume no one would be able to make
I
it.
was
That's
assuming.
what I do
I
when
was assuming
I-
we were making it at least close to the pussy.
Yeah.
No, because, like, with your... If you were able to, like, lick, like, your... Like, the the hair above your cock, you could probably suck your own cock.
No.
But, like, if you're able to lick the hair above
Well,
your
but
taint...
we're going with the premise that women are more flexible.
No, exactly. But if they... Like, we couldn't get down there. I don't know about you, but I can.
I can.
but-
Okay, so a woman could suck their own cock, but
But
not
they can't.
eat their
They-
eat
pussy.
yeah,
their own
exactly.
pussy. Okay,
I
that
get-
makes
And that's no coincidence.
this is design.
Yeah, it's like...
An
all right.
intelligent
Yeah.
design.
Oh, so evolution's real, huh?
No, dude, no, evolution's real because, like, eventually the people who were able to suck their own cocks just died out because that's all they
Yeah.
did. They didn't procreate because why would
The
you need
only
to? You
people
could
who
suck your-
procreated were the people who couldn't give themselves oral sex.
Yeah. They were like, what's even the point? Like, I guess I'll just
These
fuck this woman.
Neanderthals were able to suck themselves off.
Well, yeah, that's how they died out.
You know, sometimes they find people that accidentally killed themselves with the asphyxiation, jerking off.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
autoerotic
everything or-
asphyxiation, yeah. It must be so good. It must be, because, like, that's a dangerous move. And a lot of
Dangerous
people do
game.
that purely because, like, they,
The high
like,
must be really...
yeah, it must be
Yeah.
awesome. It must be so... Dude,
That's like-
autoerotic asphyxiation
I'm more
must be
into
the
manual
shit.
erotic asphyxiation,
talking
where I
about,
choke
Liam?
a woman while I eat her out.
I wonder if they ever find people with, like, weightlifting bands, like the really big ones they put around under their thighs and one over their head, try and pull their head down, and then just break their own neck.
They just snap their own neck.
Breaking themselves in half.
like that.
Damn.
There's another guy putting one of those bands around to try to get his cock to bend back into his asshole.
Can you imagine dying as your back snaps and your face is jammed down onto your dick?
Yeah,
you
you're like,
realize
I'm
what
so
mistake
close,
you
and then
made.
you back snap.
Yeah.
They're like at a chiropractor. They're like, "Damn, what happened to you? Is it scoliosis?" Like, not quite.
Doctor, check this out.
It was scoliosis.
The real
Okay.
pain there is that you don't die immediately and you're just stuck in that.
Well, no, you're
position
stuck
till
in that
you
position,
starve
and now
to
that your
death.
back is snapped, you can
Oh, you
suck
can't
your own
suck your
cock.
own dick.
So
You
you've
can
got
do
at
it.
least like a minute or two.
You survive off of your semen for a while.
What if for some reason you're using those bands to suck your own cock like at the top of a very large hill? So when you step down, you start rolling down. You're like, oh no, this day just keeps getting worse.
It's not the back break that kills you. You choke to death on your penis.
Yeah, it like forces it in your mouth. I thought you meant like when you said like they occasionally like find people like that. I thought you meant like in like Pompeii. When they, like, so like we have a couple of like instances of people in Pompeii who are like
Trying
using
to
prototypical exercise
suck down.
bands.
I wish the bodies in Pompeii were all people banging each other. And it
Yeah.
was scientific, being like when everyone knows they're gonna die, it just turns into a big old orgy.
Yeah.
I say, there's like
Ew,
the one
ew,
guy
ew.
who was found jerking up,
Oh,
but
yeah.
people are also like, well, actually, he just curled up because of the heat or whatever, and it just
Yeah.
looks like he's jerking off. That guy was jerking off.
No, he was like
He's
this.
like laid back. He's not curled up. He's like laid back with the other arm like way out.
And his face is like this.
Ooh.
No, but you're saying like with like the Pompeii people, it's like people find like mummy of like a pharaoh that's never been found. And it's like sucking its own cock. Like, we can't reveal this to the public.
He figured it out.
This information's too dangerous.
Yeah,
Is
what
it a pirate
Area
lift showing
51?
how to do it?
Well, yeah, like whenever you get mummified as a pharaoh, you like tell them exactly what you want to do, and you're like, I want you to remove my ribs and put my head between my legs so it looks like I'm sucking myself off. And your attendants are like, what? And make sure everyone who's buried with me is also sucking their own cock.
What's the Chinese like statue? Like they're all
Terracotta
army, but they're all sucking their own dick.
If I ever had like a true greatest enemy and I ever like wanted to kill them, I'd choke them out first. But then I'd like make it look like make it look like they were doing the autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh, okay.
So then it would just be like no one's gonna really investigate that heavily, right? Like the moment that they see that, they're like, we get it, we have an idea of what's going on here. We'll just take him down and call it a day.
An episode of Criminal Minds with the killer's MO is he removes people's ribs and then makes them suck their own cock
To death.
Yeah, and
until they choke to death.
that would be funny if they think it's gonna be like a 7 killer where it's like the first person is lust, I see. So the next person must be gluttony, and they like go to like the pie eating contest and nothing happens, and it's like, guys, we just had another case of a guy sucking his own cock and dying.
Like, this was a really campy episode of Criminal Minds.
They go to the pie eating competition.
Like, it has to be here.
Damn, that is literally what they would do in that episode.
Every time they're like, she was raped and then murdered. It must be lust. Let's go to the pie eating company. Like every rape and murder case in real life, they do that. They're like, damn, our hunch was wrong.
We always want to do the 7 deadly sins.
The rape and murder case, they're like, it must be followed up with like, so their idea, they have like the whiteboard thing where it's like, he's gonna win the pie eating contest, then turn around and kill one of the participants. But since there's no cameras at the pie eating contest, he'll think he get away scot-free. But we'll be there saying he thinks
he'll get away.
Oh yeah, because everyone's so bloated. They're like, stop.
At like this public event.
Yeah, no, everyone's so bloated. Or
they're like, why is that man eating pies in a ski mask?
Yeah, and he has to win for this to happen. So like, there's like a 5-month gap between all of his murders where he's just like he's trying to win.
Second in the fighting contest, like, damn it, I will exact my murder. And people are like, what? Why does he keep saying that every time he comes in second place?
Who's this guy in the ski mask?
That's an episode of Psych right there. That's not. Yeah, that's not Criminal
No, that's
Minds.
Criminal Minds.
That's
That's like the later seasons where they really run out of
I
ideas.
don't think that's Criminal Minds.
That's like NCIS.
That would be a funny
Maybe.
thing.
It's too funny.
Literally like an episode of Psych where there's like the spelling bee murder or whatever, and you're like, yeah, that's an episode of Psych.
I can see that.
An
That'd be cool.
episode of House where a guy comes in, he's like, I don't know what happened. I woke up like this, and House is like, actually, I believe that you sucked your own cock.
A rat bit you and convinced you that you had to suck your own cock.
You have a
Wait, is that
parasite,
House?
you have a
It's the rat
parasite in your
bites.
brain that subsists off of making you suck your own cock.
Based on your spinal protrusion, it would appear you're in this position for hours a day.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. That'd be funny if like
analyzed your spine.
if like the
Feeling
sad
the spine
music
with his
comes
cane.
in. It's like Joshua. We know, like, he tried to, like, convince somebody that, like, someone got him in this mess, and it's like, Joshua, we've looked at the scans. We know that there's something more going on. Then, like, the sad music plays, and he looks off to the side, and he's like, I've been sucking my own cock. What can I
years
say?
now.
For years. It's just all I've been doing.
House seems more
It's like a
interesting. What's
scare
the other
tactic.
doctor show? Fucking Grey's
Grey's
Anatomy.
Anatomy.
Yeah, House seems more
Squirrels.
interesting than Grey's.
House is
Um,
funnier, has more personality.
Yeah.
House. I think
Grey's Anatomy is
Anatomy's
a soap
My
opera.
sister's
Yeah.
been watching Grey's, and I'm like, "What is it about?" And she's like, "Well,
Doctors.
they do doctor stuff." And I'm like, "Is
No,
there?"
It's
do
about
they
doctors
cheat on their
fucking each
wives?
other.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
all
it's
fuck each other.
interpersonal,
They cheat
like,
on their
drama.
wives
yeah.
and stuff. She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay."
You like cool Mr. Handsome doctor in that?
Yeah.
He lives in a fucking trailer like next to a river. It's like, wow, what a cool like simple guy.
Wait,
In
really?
real life?
Millions a year.
Wait, really?
He's like off in the countryside.
Yeah,
There's like
that's
an
him.
emergency. Oh, I thought you meant in the show he does that.
In the show, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, in the
oh.
show. And there's like an emergency call. He's like, I'm sorry, I live really far away.
In a trailer.
He like maybe drives a motorcycle or
He's
something. No, that's House.
That's so dumb. That's
Why
so
is
Yeah,
it-
House
dumb.
is like a rock and roll guy.
Who's the guy who came up with that part of the script where it's like he's kind of suave, so he lives in
millionaire
a
doctor.
trailer in the by a river. It's like
I think it might be a plot point of when like he gets divorced or something. But it's
yeah.
like this is a fucking ER doctor.
yeah, he could afford to like rent like an apartment for.
Is
a
it
little
a
bit.
nice trailer at least?
I don't think it was.
That would be really funny if it's like a meth dealer trailer, but it's just the most disgusting thing on the inside. He's like, I have to live like this now. I got
someone's
divorced.
visiting him in the show, and they're like, "The windows are broken." He's like, "I live a humble life. There's rats running around.
Please.
Like,
I don't care for material goods."
You drive a new Mercedes.
He drives
Yeah.
and then there's just like open cans of beans everywhere in his thing, and he's like, "Sorry, I just
It's like, I
want."
only like the top third.
That's where he is addicted. His
That's
addiction.
Nice and
healthy
slightly oxidized.
Your patients have been dying in much more frequent numbers since you've been drinking a 12-pack every night in your trailer. The only way I can sleep.
I like the idea of like I live a humble life is drinking a 12-pack in a rundown trailer with rats. Like that's not humble. That's
Like,
sad.
I'm just trying to get in touch with nature as he shoots up heroin.
He's such a down-to-earth guy. Have you been to his place?
It's like, why are you doing heroin? You work at a hospital.
I think
You could be doing way better drugs.
yeah, I think it would be funny if after like he's just like, oh, I'll invite you over to my place for dinner, and then he like opens the door and he's like, I forgot where I lived. I didn't realize.
Where did I park my trailer?
no. He
He's
like
every time I forget where I live, I just buy a new trailer.
So there's like
It's the cheapest form of living that,
Yeah.
that
You
a
can't
super
tax
wealthy
it.
guy
It's
like
on
me.
wheels.
You can't tax it.
It's on
yeah,
wheels.
yeah.
The
You
government's like, you can't tax trailers. That's the rule.
no, you actually can't.
What?
Anything that is on wheels, you can't tax as
I
like a
don't-
place of
okay.
residence. So that's
Trailer
why like
park,
trailer
maybe.
parks, you
There's
can't.
no property
yeah,
tax
there's no
on
property
that.
tax on
Do
trailer
you guys
parks.
wanna get a trailer
fucked up
together?
to-
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, why not?
Go to Carter
Yeah,
Lake
we
or
did
something.
talk about that.
I thought you were saying like there's no even tax like when you buy the trailer.
Oh no! Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
It's all able to
yeah.
be written off. That's why he does it.
They're like,
It's all-
it's such a free spirit kind of thing. We're not gonna tax it.
He's
We
like,
really respect
he's
that
like,
move.
live poor to stay rich, baby. That's how I do it. That'd be really funny if he's
Yeah.
that's a part. He's like the suave doctor, but he's also like the biggest Ebenezer Scrooge of all time. Where he's for lunch, he's like going into the trash cans and like licking off like wrappers from McDonald's that he finds. It's like this guy's so suave. He's like, I just like to save my money, you
Is that
know.
what Scrooge does?
Yeah, that was part of the
Scrooge
Christmas
licks
Carol.
trash because he doesn't want to spend money.
Yeah,
It's in the deleted scenes.
yeah, of the
I
Christmas
wanna,
Carol book. He's like writing it. He's like, maybe this doesn't paint the best picture of our protagonist.
Charles Dickens.
Yeah.
Is that who wrote it?
Yeah,
Yeah. What a good name.
Charles Dickens.
Dickens.
Yeah, Dickens down.
You
Oh,
alright, bro?
It's really harsh.
oh shit.
His Delta.
Damn.
Yeah,
Vaping.
Phineas has been
Yeah.
vaping crack cocaine, so
That's pretty harsh.
yeah, it was. Well,
That's
especially
the main reason I don't do it. Fucking crack is harsh as shit, I guess.
yeah, Phineas just went into the
Yeah,
bathroom.
what I
Coughing
think
up a
would be a
storm.
fun idea for the podcast.
What?
We all do a solo episode, but only for like 30 minutes.
How about instead what we do is we take the solo episodes and layer them over the top of each other, so it's like we're all in the same
talking
room.
over
Yeah.
each other about different things.
But my solo episode would just be me in that case, just going like, yeah, haha, that's crazy. No way, that's
Oh, yeah.
insane.
Right.
Each of you
Writing a
makes like
backing track.
100, 150 sound bites, and then Jack has a piece of conversation.
Oh yeah, I have a
It's
little
like an
soundboard.
editing
Each person
masterpiece
tells
there.
one story. People go, wow.
Wow,
Wow.
that's crazy.
What?
Really?
No way.
Yeah, no, I feel like we could totally make some pretty good soundboards out of all of us at this point. We've said enough on this
Yeah, we
podcast
got a lot of good
that we could really
words.
ruin that.
A lot of good. Well, there's probably a lot of talking over each other that might hurt that, but
We could make it work.
You guys should do
Nice.
like beer opening sound effects. And just do way too many, so people think we're raging out.
Yeah.
Like every 25 seconds.
we were-
They would probably think that already.
We were showing Jack a clip, and like at the start of it, like we talked for like a few seconds, and then we just all open it. It's just super. We do sound like alcoholics in that moment.
You should all start coughing when you open.
Wait, which clip?
People
I don't remember.
definitely would notice as well, because my dad was talking about, like, yeah, you're probably a lot of those, like, pop tabs we hear on there, right? And I'm like, well,
That's a communal
I am a
effort.
lot of
Yeah.
them, but...
Oh, you got the joke we were doing.
Yeah. Jeff's actually putting those in
That's a
post.
Coca-Cola can right there, actually.
Yeah, we're not horribly.
We don't have 12 beers on the table each.
Yeah,
don't worry
my
about it.
dad was here recently. He saw me. He's like, "Oh yeah, you know, having a social life while you're here, even with COVID." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm hanging out with friends from high school." He's like, "Oh yeah, how often you do that?" I'm like, "Oh, we hang out like starting at 3 every week."
Starting at 3.
I don't know why I mentioned 3, but it was more natural in however he asked me. And like he's like, are you drinking around then? Like, and then he's like, you don't have to drive home, you can always Uber on my card, no worries.
It's like
I'm like, sure thing, fucking nerd.
Fucking bitch ass nerd.
It's like, listen, if you like your hubcaps on the car where they currently are, you do not want me to Uber home.
Why?
They'll get stolen.
By you?
Yeah, I'll do it.
You
No,
stolen a hubcap before?
By the black people who live in apartments a couple houses over.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't keep like good cars on the street when you're in the
I
neighborhood.
don't keep track of where the black people live around
Where
here.
my
I keep
hubcaps
like
are.
I do.
I'm glad this is all.
What even is a hubcap? And why would you steal it?
Because it's funny. It's funny when you steal the Mercedes-Benz hubcaps.
I put like invisible ink on all the BIPOC houses around.
Oh, yeah.
At night, if I'm kind of trying to remember, I
Yeah,
can
the
go around with a
special
black
flashlight.
light.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
My
see
night vision goggles.
That'd be really funny. It's like he's shining this
Liam-
black light everywhere.
Liam like shuffling up to the house to like see if there's a BIPOC house, and he's like scared. He's like, and he goes up, and there's no more. He's like, oh, thank God.
Okay.
I couldn't remember.
I can
Or I
walk it.
yell. Wait, what would that help? Like if you were just like that. That's a black person who lives there. That's a white.
I
Like
just want to know when the war happens.
yeah. But that'll help. With it's like, don't worry, guys. When the war's going on, I've got this
I've
infrared
marked
flashlight
their
that I can.
houses.
Yeah, no, you have a little QR code. That you
Yeah,
put
I
on
want,
You have like little symbols like
I want
you're
to
in
fund
Skyrim,
sending,
different stores.
I want to fund sending laser pointers to the Middle East so they can point them at the drones when they fly overhead and confuse their systems or
That'd be-
whatever.
if it wasn't-
like shining it in the lights of the
They have
pilots.
done that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Well,
maybe,
I mean,
Like they have.
I assume you have to be very fucking accurate with that.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah,
most of the
most
time.
of the drones are probably way too
No.
high up for you to reason.
They're-
Yeah.
they
You know,
don't care
I'm thinking
about
of
that
like when
either,
there
I
was
don't
like
think.
You can do like light sources.
there was like the
and
night
stuff
vision
like that.
helicopters and people use like either in a protest or in a battle area. and
Yeah.
Use the
Yeah,
I remember like the
laser
Hong Kong protests.
Oh,
like,
that's
there's
what I'm thinking of.
CCTVs everywhere. They're just like
That's what I'm
shining
thinking
it
of.
there. Yeah.
Man,
was
the Hong Kong
interesting.
protest.
We got from terrorists to Hong Kong protests because I had that vague connection.
No, I think what's it called? Hong Kong protests just showed us how bad we are at protesting. Like you look at a lot of like the Black Lives Matter protests, and you're like, you guys don't have shit on Hong Kong being able to like do all this shit. Like, look at that. Like, did you see the people who were like disarming a smoke grenade?
Yeah,
because they'll do the thing where they'll take like a
the
traffic cone,
traffic
put it
cone.
on top
Oh,
of it,
shit.
and then pour water on it, and they've got like people for that, like a pit crew. But like when you guys get smoke grenaded, it's all over, huh?
Well, I
So
mean,
you don't really.
To be fair, it's more like in Hong Kong they've been driven deeper into the corner than like women in America.
Yeah.
Listen,
Like it's not good for them. I acknowledge that, but let's say that
Their experience.
poor people in Hong Kong maybe have it worse.
well, people in Hong Kong just like it's the difference between like, hey guys, listen, there's a lot of systemic problems versus like we will all be like eliminated by the Chinese government if we don't do this. Like there's
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to do it at that point.
A lot more sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You can just sit at home.
You pretty
Fuck it,
much
whatever.
do if you have a survival.
Yeah, if you
I mean, I guess.
if you have any will.
Depending on what you've done.
No,
Okay.
I feel like for the
They're not
most
gonna
part
execute everyone in Hong Kong.
they're gonna
I'm saying you got to protest at that point if you have a survival instinct in the case of Hong Kong.
Yeah. No, I
because
think...
it's like, it's
if
way
you're-
worse from there.
Well, yeah, no, it's gonna get
For,
way
like,
worse
some
for
of them.
you.
Obviously not all of them. There's like rich Chinese people that
Yeah.
are fine.
Like, if China was like, hey, U.S., we're invading you right now, like, I'd go out and protest.
Well, yeah.
Well,
But Hong Kong is one city.
But-
And I'm sure a
What do
lot
you
of
mean?
people there are like, well, I'm not going to risk my life to, like, try and stop China.
Yeah, that's a good point. At the same time, the very fact that they can protest is kind of a sign of how, like,
Yeah.
they maybe have it better than other parts of China. You know
well,
what
that's
I
the
mean?
whole thing, is that they're trying to keep it that way. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're like, well, if
Yeah.
we don't protest, it's all gonna go to the
But
shit
some
show.
of them, I'm
Comes
sure,
across as privileged.
don't care that much.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you're wealthy enough, you don't care.
Yeah, I'm
Or
assuming
just
that...
apathetic. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, yeah, sure.
yeah, I assume the...
But the stakes are high enough that I think there's going to be less political apathy in the case of Hong Kong, which is why it was a pretty effective, as opposed to, like, here there are way more people that can afford to continue to be
Yeah.
politically apathetic.
Man, we're so good talking about world issues.
Yeah, I know.
We're fucking.
I'm nailing
Do
it.
you want to talk
awesome.
about Danny Sexbang?
Yeah.
Fucking
Dude, I want to
cares about
fucking. I want to
Who's
fuck
Danny Sexton? What?
He's one of the
teenagers like he does, or whoever.
Fuck you.
20-year-old girls.
I realized, I think I texted it in the group chat, like this entire, so, to catch anybody who doesn't know, Danny Not So Grump Sexbang is one of the guys on Game Grumps who makes funny comments, and he's like 40 at this point, and over the weekend, I believe, there was this one site called Rant Grumps. It's a subreddit that is dedicated.
There used to be Vent Grumps, but then the moderator shut it down.
Yeah, with that's it. Then Conspiracy Grumps blew up because everyone's like, is the
Oh,
moderator
you know what? I
secret?
think Conspiracy Grumps was the one. Didn't that shut
No,
down?
What?
Conspiracy Grumps was the hub.
There's multiple Game Grumps hate subreddits.
For some reason, Game Grumps has a lot of like a weird history of conspiracies and odd like co-hosts hitting each other's wives, you know, stuff like that. Anyways, in the most recent saga, one of the guys posted this thing on Rant Grumps that was like, hey guys, we have like definitive proof that Danny Sexbang is grooming underage girls, and everyone's like,
Hell yeah.
holy shit, that's crazy. And so the story of that goes, there was a girl who texted, or who like instant messaged him on Instagram in 2004, and she was, or 2007 or something, maybe 10. Either way, she was 17
Or
at the
6-year
time.
period.
She was 17 at the time.
6 years old or 18.
No, and she was just like, hey, I'm really excited, like, are you gonna come to New York anytime? And he's like, I think I'm gonna do a show there soon. And it's like, cool. And then when she's 22, she messages him again, and she's like, hey, I saw that you're in, like, New York or whatever. Do you want to, like, hang out or whatever? And he's like, yeah, that sounds like a good time. Then they, like, start talking, and apparently they fuck.
Yeah.
Then he goes,
Yeah.
then, like, and then...
But the
Ghost.
way she presents the story makes it seem like she was 17, like, when
Yeah.
they met up
Oh.
to fuck.
No, and there's also this weird thing where she's like, I had to prove that eventually I turned 18, so she sent in her
That's
like group
true,
of
you have to
screenshot.
prove
No,
that.
she like sent in her screenshot. She sent like a message that says "Happy 18th birthday" and it shows like a date above it. And it wasn't. And everyone's like, "Oh, clearly Danny said that, so he's grooming her." It's like, no, one, like that's like not grooming, and two, fucking like you just like that's completely
Okay.
unrelated to the entire Danny thing. She's like, no, but this proves that I'm 18, so
She
already
said it was-
muddying the waters a lot.
She said it was consensual?
She said it was consensual,
Oh, yeah.
but then
It
afterwards,
was two consensual adults of age having sex.
and then afterwards, Danny completely ghosted her because he was like, whatever, like,
No,
I'm
yeah.
not- and so then, but
He's
here's
weird, but I'm just willing to like acknowledge
he's like a
grooming
weird,
is not an
perverted guy,
underage
sure.
thing. Grooming is when you abuse your power on like your fans
if you
to have sex
if
with
you
them.
have if a
That
man
is grooming.
named Danny Sexbang who is on Game
It's
Grumps has
grooming.
power over you, you're an idiot, and I don't care what you think.
Okay, you're a fan
Yeah.
of his.
No,
You were a fan of
no,
his
if you're
for some
22.
reason.
He
no,
didn't fuck
okay,
her
wait,
when she turned
wait,
18. He
sure.
fucked her
You
like,
deserve
so
this,
much
bitch.
later.
No,
It was
okay,
an-
wait, hold on.
it was-
If you are
okay.
22, if you're an adult,
Okay.
if you can legally get a job and you are out of college, and you're like, well, Danny Sexbang said he wanted to have sex
If
with
you
me.
don't think you're
I'm
gonna get
not-
ghosted,
Also,
'cause
Danny
he's fucked
Sexbang,
Okay,
he
sure.
he's not your
You're
boss.
mad about this. You're
No.
a groomer.
No,
You're
wait,
a
hold
groomer.
on.
No,
He's
wait,
not,
wait,
okay,
wait,
listen.
wait,
Groomer.
Listen,
I'm
he's
not-
not.
I'm not-
He's not your boss. He can't get you fired.
Get out
He's
of
a YouTube celebrity
that you
who's
like.
like, yeah, who that you
people
like.
aren't infants their whole lives.
Yeah,
where, like,
exactly.
if
Yeah.
they like someone, they all of a sudden have no power.
Well,
and
you say
sort
that,
of
Yeah.
but people are
interactions.
pretty fucking stupid.
Exactly.
their whole
okay,
life.
but
this
guess
is what I mean.
You don't. It's not illegal to fuck stupid people.
Yeah, exactly.
In a way that's
True.
kind of douchey.
They just-
Yeah.
It's not illegal. You're
Yeah,
just
it's
a
kind of
weirdo.
douchey, yeah.
Sure,
It's
he's
not a weirdo.
He's
I don't even think he's a
perverted
weirdo.
guy.
He's
I
just
think
like
he's
an
a bit of
asshole.
a weirdo
There
who's a bit
was-
of an asshole.
Yeah.
I'd say that there was a bit of, celebrity happening.
Yeah.
Well, sure, but
Sure, exactly.
But it's also
But
one of those things
it's
where
one
it's
of those
like,
things.
okay, I guess he just can't have any sort of relationship with anyone who knows anything about his like
Exactly,
YouTube,
yeah.
unless they
Like-
hate
No,
it.
yeah,
Unless
no,
they-
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just disagreeing with you. Implied grooming was only underage.
It is.
It's-
if you're
Grooming is not only an underage thing.
That's the implication. Otherwise, I would just call it manipulation. Probably.
yeah. Otherwise, I'd call it gaslighting.
Oh,
There's two
okay,
different
and
words.
it's manipulation when it's underage too.
Well, sure,
Yes,
but
it
the
is.
No, but
specific word
grooming-
for manipulating
Like,
an
word-
underage
words
person
like
that
mean-
we
rectangle
take
is a
later
square,
is
but a
grooming.
square is not
I
a
guess,
rectangle.
Yeah,
sure,
exactly.
but it's like
I
the
guess
same
sure
thing.
you don't get
It's the
that
same
Yeah,
thing.
because you were
Grooming is
saying it doesn't
manipulation.
include underage.
Yeah.
Grooming
My
is
No, I'm not
definition-
saying it doesn't include underage. I'm saying it's the same thing.
As manipulate, I don't
No.
think so. I think that's you've made the word less useful by
Yeah.
conflating them.
Because I think that like having a
Okay.
word mean like specifically taking an underage person, like making them susceptible to like sexual things up until the point that they get 18, then fucking them, that means something as opposed to like grooming just means whenever you're trying to like whenever that happens in their life. And I think there's like a specific point in time when that word is useful, and I like when words
Sure.
mean things as opposed to mean whatever anyone else wants
For-
them to mean.
For a child, it's illegal, right?
Yes.
I think grooming has an implication of like illegal
Sure.
activity. So
of
the
like
whole
you're
idea
not
is
fucking them when they're a kid.
Yeah,
when
okay,
it's
okay. I see
consensual-
what you guys mean. Yeah,
when it's
okay.
consensual and it's over 18, there's just nothing you can do about it, even if it was
Sure,
slimy.
I agree.
Yeah. And I think that there's I don't know, it's
I
just
mean,
so
the argument
weird.
for it being grooming is that his first interaction with her was when she was 17.
Yeah.
So you could argue that, like, the whole time from when she was 17 to 22, he's like, she's not legal now, but I'll wait till she's 22.
No, I like
Exactly,
the idea
but-
more that he just didn't interact with her between those ages.
I think that's pretty accurate.
No, he
Yeah.
actually did not.
Yeah,
like he
he
did
did.
not.
He's like-
She would
yeah.
message him and just be like, "Wow, really loved your show," and he's like, "Thanks," like a fan like thing.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like he was in there and she's like, "Hey, you want to meet up?" And he was like, "This girl's pretty hot. Okay."
Yeah.
And now
Yeah,
she's
it would be
22.
different if like she was like 14 when like they talked. And
Yeah.
he was like messaging her like every like
Yeah, and
week
then,
or
like,
something.
on her
and
18th
until
birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
then
He
he
got
like
his
called her
nut.
up and like,
Yeah.
hey, yeah, let's fuck.
It's like no,
That
she
would
was
be different,
17
yeah.
when they first talked, and it's just one of those
Yeah.
things where I look at it and I'm like, so everyone on Twitter immediately, the moment that like all of these allegations came out, they're like basically the way that everyone gets their news on Twitter is that like a hashtag is trending. Someone will click on the hashtag, and then there's gonna be like a very popular tweet that says like my face when Danny sexbang is sex offender pedophile, and it's like Sailor Moon crying, and then it's like, well, I guess he's a pedophile.
Yeah,
okay,
like people
cool.
like saw like 17 in the headline of something about him, and they're like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh, I guess he is. I guess he's 100%.
My favorite. I read that article that I posted.
And by the way, I
in
fucking hate Game Grumps.
Yeah, no, Game Grumps fucking sucks.
We don't like these
I'm not
people,
defending these.
But we're defending the fact that he's not a pedophile.
Yeah, he's not a
sex
pedophile,
offender.
yeah.
But my
Allegedly.
favorite thing from the article was that like it was like some 30-year-old woman or whatever fucked him, and like he was being like really romantic towards her the whole time. He was like, "We're gonna establish a dynasty or whatever.
Yeah.
You're gonna be my queen." And
Yeah,
then he
empire.
goes
That shit's funny as fuck. I was always like, woman, he's like, this is not just a quick thing. I feel real feelings.
She said, and I quote, "We'll establish." He's just like he said, "We'll establish an empire together, baby." And then like a day later, he ghosted her. It's
Shit
just
made me
like,
laugh.
To be honest, that
fucking
shit's so
funny.
corny that I can read it as a joke. Right?
Yeah.
You know, where it's
But
like
also,
he's not
like-
really making any promises.
yeah.
Yeah.
Given who Danny is, like that might have been like,
Like
well,
you can imagine him saying that in jest.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, of
Like,
course this is not.
Being romantic is different than being like a womanizer type. Like
yeah.
womanizer types are always going to be like, "Oh yeah, baby, I'm so into
Yeah.
you. This is like we're cool. Like
It's like, no.
it's not romantic. That's
Exactly.
just you're being like a sexual person, which is fine.
But yeah, no, I did text though. I sent in the chat. I was like, this entire situation has really made me believe in the horseshoe theory. Because like every single person who's like, yeah, she is 22. Yeah, she did consent before. Yeah, they were totally fine until he ghosted her. But that's still, like, I don't know. I still think that's kind of like an abuse of power. And I'm, like, looking at that and I'm like, I guess women should just never have sex. I guess, unless they get, like...
Unless it's with me.
Unless you meet a man who's of the same economic status
Yeah.
and a little lower to match your privileges.
Yeah, of course, of
Otherwise,
course.
it's can't ever fully be okay.
And I'm like, wait, wasn't this just, like, the Christian thing where it's like, you have to ask your dad first. You have to ask your dad if you can have sex. And I'm like, oh, so everything's come full circle. I guess everyone...
Yeah, during all this discord about Danny sex begging, someone's like, but did she ask her dad?
Yeah. No, all the Christian discords are like, that's pretty fucking
Christian
disgusting that
Discord.
Danny Sexbang was having sex.
I want to visit a Christian Discord, see what they talk about.
They talk
I
about it.
bet
Let's
there's
have a
one
prayer
main
before.
See how they groom their children.
Before a game of Apex, yeah.
Yeah,
Amen. No.
horseshoe theory, more like horse Jew theory.
That's
and
true.
they're anime girls
Because
that
their
are
noses
horses
are
that
so
are also
hooked.
Jewish.
Why are they Jewish?
Because that's just what they are. That's what the
No, Jack, it's
yakuza.
because their noses are like a horseshoe.
Oh,
Horses.
yes.
Well,
Are-
and Neigh sounds kind of,
Like, oy vey.
There could be a
Hey,
really
hey,
awful
yeah.
fucking...
Oy, oy.
There has to be a picture.
Fucking nailed it.
There has to be a picture online of like a political cartoon of the Jew with a huge nose, and then somebody photoshops like a horseshoe over it, and they're like, coincidence?
Well, I was about to
Let's
suggest,
look inside.
I was about to suggest that
Let's
the thumbnail
analyze.
be a horse with a yarmulke saying "Oy nay."
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I like that.
That's the theory I propose.
I made myself chuckle last night. I was thinking about the Clint Eastwood cowboy movie called The Outlaw Josie Wales.
That's the
And I
title.
Yeah, The Outlaw Josie Wales.
Huh.
And I was thinking about a guy named Joe who sees whales. Outlaw Josie Wales.
Wait, so he's white
Wales!
outlaw.
Oh, Josie Wales!
Why is he outlaw?
Josie Wales.
That's
What did he do?
That's up
He
to you.
raped somebody.
Josie Wales.
Just completely unrelated.
Yeah.
He likes to look at. He's a whale watcher.
He likes large women.
Yeah.
I see whales.
He loves whales more
I see
than their
whale
culture allows.
people.
Nice.
Sixth Sense, but that Sixth Sense is you see fat women through walls. you can just see them through walls.
They can feel them based off of like slight vibrations.
Yeah.
No, that's
And
what
it's called the
it's like.
Outlaw.
Like the girl from Avatar.
Yeah, it's like Toph. you can only feel fat people, so you can only see it in relationship.
Yeah, you're
to
not
them.
you're not so sensitive that you can see like everything around you.
That'd be really funny if she was still blind, but like the show is just like there's like a fat person occasionally that they have to fight, and they're like, "It's all right, this one's yours, Toph."
She's always antagonizing fat people
Yeah.
trying to fight.
You're so loud.
One day she's just eating a meal and all of a sudden she's like, I can sense myself.
Look, she takes like she's like, all right, this is the
Fat.
Snicker bar that will make me fat, and then she eats it, and she's like, no.
I like the idea of the Sixth Sense 2.
No, like
Outlaw Josie Wales.
No,
The
like
seventh sense. Outlaw Josie Wales.
like the Sixth Sense is so broad that it can mean literally like whatever you want it to mean. It can
Oh,
Like,
that's
extra
to ruin the
sense.
joke.
It can't mean. There's 5 things that it for sure can't mean.
mean exactly.
I can
No, but I'm
see
saying,
twice.
like, that's the beauty of it. Is that like you could make a movie called Sixth Sense, and people would be like, "This is about seeing ghosts, right?" And it's like, no, it's about a guy who sees whales, and also he rapes a woman early on in the movie, so he's outlawed. But the rest of the movie is just him whale watching from jail.
Damn.
Jail watching.
That'd be a tight jail cell. And Alcatraz, you get to see the whales.
Yeah.
outside
Little
your-
specks in
your
the
prison
distance.
cell.
You're like, look, there's whales!
I think-
It's like, Joe, shut the fuck up!
I think prison should be when they put you in those big plastic balls and then they have a conveyor belt going up a slant. So you're just rolling.
It's like the
Some
worst
Greek
Sisyphus of all
fucking-
time.
yeah. Some Greek
Sisyphus,
torture.
but we're wasting so much taxpayer money to
You
keep
would
this
die
going.
doing that. So
Yeah, you
it
would.
wouldn't be a good
If you
prison.
you could physics-wise map it out perfectly.
No, you wouldn't.
You would die.
Fucking insane. You're constantly smacking against a treadmill.
No.
You're gonna get a concussion. or
Okay, you
something.
could you could physics this where like you could make someone where they would have you could like put them in one of those balls that like suspends them, and then you could make it out of a certain material, so you'd be able to like physics it out. Yeah, no, you'd be able to like have it so it has no flex, and then you could have the treadmill running at a certain speed.
Well, eventually you would drown in your own vomit.
No, you'd airlift them food. You'd like drop them in food.
Yeah.
And then like
you have to be very careful.
Yeah, exactly. No, we have like archers. We're able to like shoot in the little hole, and obviously the hole will like expel all the drama.
I'm going to Alcatraz, baby.
We could do this, yeah.
I want a prison break movie where it's that. That's like they're like, and they're like
somehow we're communicating with each other.
Yeah,
it's like the
during
movie.
This fucking chaos.
It's like G-Force, but instead of hamsters, they're humans.
Is there like
in the hamster ball?
Yeah. No, is there like a prison break like franchise where it's like we gotta break out of this even bigger thing? So like the fourth one could be that, where it's like, how are we gonna get out of this one, boys?
Yeah,
at the end they're like, we just can't. There's no
Ocean's 11 ball. The money is stuck in plastic balls, constantly coming uphill.
Yeah, and the moment that they stop, the alarm goes off.
Like, we also have to go into plastic balls. And go on this like, uphill conveyor belt.
That'd be pretty good.
Wouldn't Alcatraz be the best prison to be in if you had to be in a prison?
Why?
No. It's a cool island.
No, apparently it's sucked on the inside.
If there is an afterlife, you would have the most bragging rights of all prisoners.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking
well, because like apparently regular ass.
Although Guantanamo would have a pretty good that has some street cred.
Yeah, Guantanamo nobody knows who you are. You're a fucking random Middle Eastern man that they picked up off the street.
Yeah, no, you're dead. The moment that they're just like, let's remove him from Guantanamo.
No, I'm talking about the afterlife, and we're all bragging about what prisons.
Oh yeah, of course. You're like, I served Allah in Guantanamo.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I served Jesus in Guantanamo.
And then you had a little fight, and then whoever Scientology believes in is like, break it up. Zinko.
That's who's in heaven, Xenu.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the U.S. has religious freedom, U.S. soldiers should be allowed to announce that it's for a certain god before they kill Middle Eastern people.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Can we put in Xenu we trust on our money? Because that's like the only American religion is Scientology.
Mormonism.
Yeah, isn't
Mormonism also. Yeah,
I feel like I'd rather be represented by Mormonism
Mormons
than
also
Scientology.
believe in like Xenu or whatever, right?
No, they believe that you get your own planet.
They believe in like Urdu or something like that.
Masons?
It's some other alien.
Maybe.
Oh, the freest of them.
The freest Masons.
No, I think they believe in like some wacky stuff, but I feel
Mormons
like
are the guys who the guy had the 3 gold tablets they got from an angel.
Yeah.
John Smith.
Like, where are they? He's like, who knows?
And then wait,
I remember them though.
Did you? So the South Park episode apparently is 100% accurate. Where like after they were like, this guy came, he's like, hey, can you recite exactly what you said on those 3 gold tablets? And he's like, actually, God came down, picked up those gold tablets, but he did give me another copy of tablets that are worded a little bit differently, but generally have like the same end.
Why include in your lie that they're worded differently?
This guy didn't seem like the sharpest tool in the shed. Like he didn't seem like.
That's like what was his intent with that detail? It's like, maybe they were real.
No, they're worded well because they wrote it down the first time.
Yeah.
The first time that he's like, look at these golden tablets, I have them. So they wrote it down. So he's going to compare the two.
John Smith
Tage has
just
a
wanted
good
to
point.
fuck
He just
a
wanted
lot
pussy.
of chicks, right? You just want to fuck a lot.
Yeah.
So he's like,
Yeah.
all right, how do I make polygamy
did Jesus.
legal? So
Yeah.
he's like, all right, I gotta devise this whole fucking religion.
That is the apex of
around
all religion is to get pussy in some way or another.
Yeah,
if you were
marriage.
educated 150 years ago, you could do anything.
To get pussy.
Dude, if you were like
If
a
I was
scholar
educated.
in Greek times, you could tell anyone anything and they'd just
be
believe
like,
it.
well, he's a learned man.
Yeah, if I lived in the Roman Empire, I would just go to some small village and be like, actually, I'm your emperor.
And also God.
And I have reason to believe that if I have sex with you, my intelligence will pass.
No,
It's an experiment. We'll see.
No.
You don't have to even say that. You can just say, and I'm going to have sex.
Yeah, exactly. No, the Greek word, the Greek symbol for rape and the Greek symbol for or kidnap and the Greek symbol for marriage are the same thing.
Okay, this is a real thing. I
Yeah.
thought you were about to make up something fake and pass it off as a real
Definitely.
thing. I'm like,
The Greek symbol for rape is just a detailed drawing of Liam's head.
yeah.
Every time. That's why they were just like
terrible
They're like, you know
scholar.
what? There is no rape. Too hard.
We're done. We're done describing rape in any text.
Zeus just gets
All
to fuck
sex
whatever.
is now consensual.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Lolies are now legal.
Vampire rules.
Vampire.
All sex is now consensual.
We don't have to go back to that bit. I remember listening back to the podcast, and I was like, wow, there's a 45-minute chunk about vampire rules that I
Vampire
think
rules is pretty good.
that I think, oh, it's hilarious, but I'm also like, oh, this is probably going to be the one that my dad listens to. If he listens to any of them.
Vampire rules, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, fascinating. Vampire rules.
I think we should implement this into American law. How far are we? How far
We've
time?
probably got 400 bars left, so not too long.
100, okay.
Let's sing a song.
Sing a song.
Improv bit. Liam, you start.
No.
Hey.
Let's do some gay song parodies and steal that Cumtown bit. Too.
No, he's A, I'm E. You gotta be I, O, and U.
I like that.
What is this bit? Where does this go?
Just
Matt
doing
can
some
be
improv.
Matt's right.
I'm
Sometimes.
the bisexual vowel Y. I identify as not a fucking vowel and as a
Non-binary,
vowel.
yeah.
Bisexual.
The Y-sexual vowel.
Bisexual, I'm more hello sexual.
So
Hell yeah!
I think I've made that joke on this podcast before.
I've never heard it, so good one.
That's a good one.
I was in Colorado last week, and me and my buddy were talking about because a whole bunch of the forest burned down. We're thinking, it's not worth much anymore, and no one wants to look at burnt trees. We should turn it into housing developments.
yeah.
Imagine how much people would pay for that.
I don't know. I can't imagine. Actually, I don't imagine. I don't have a good grasp
Wait,
on
there's
Just
it.
the question
is
is
this
how
like-
much would people pay for
Is
a
it pretty
lot
far
that
out
used to be
of,
burnt
like-
trees?
In the middle of the mountains.
Oh, okay.
In the middle, okay.
I don't have a good grasp on what things are
We're
worth.
talking about turning Rocky Mountain National Park into housing development.
That'd be pretty cool.
Low
Why
income,
not?
actually.
Yeah, of
Rocky
course.
Yeah, because you just need like
Apartments.
water supply and stuff.
I like
Yeah,
the idea of
there's a
still
river.
keeping all of that as a national park, though, so people come through and they're like, look, there's a bunch of poor people, and also the bison are roaming across here.
We should.
Still
we
do
should
tours.
Human zoos.
Recruit-
Yes,
There should be
more of
people
those.
recruited to live off the land in national parks, so you can see native peoples living how they would thousands of years ago in the national park.
A lot of native people want the land back to live like they used to.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
the U.S. takes it over again, turns it into a national park, but lets them still live there.
Yeah.
There's raids on tourist trains.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Here they come!
Oh, boy!
Roll the windows up, kids!
Why did we even come here? We know this happened.
Big game hunting, where you're just hunting different indigenous people.
Yeah.
But they get to hunt you back. It's not
Yeah,
illegal.
on your Facebook, you post a picture of you holding up a dead Aboriginal.
Yeah. And people are like, half the comments are like, that's a little uncool, and the other half of the
Yeah.
comments are like, looks like you had a fun time
It's
in the
like,
Rockies.
hey,
oh,
Bill."
man,
that's just
I can't
nature.
I can't wait till Ute season.
yeah. Damn. Get a hunt down
Gotta go
the,
for mature
the
males.
Badonkadonk Tribe.
Yeah.
Badonkadonk.
The
They just have really big butts walking around.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
What color would
that's
their
my
skin be?
favorite tribe to hunt down and fuck. That's my favorite tribe. I go to the Rockies every year to hunt down the Badonkadonk tribe and
No,
fuck their
they were
women.
the Mahonkahon.
Yeah,
Mahonkahon.
You know the natives used to
This
fuck
may
every
be
piece of the Mahonkahon.
This is somehow the
The
most
American-
racist thing we've done. I think this is the most racist thing we've done.
Which is kind of impressive in and of itself.
Maybe you'll get canceled for this.
I hope so.
Hell yeah.
More viewers on the pod.
Just
More money for us.
Just black-faced, fat-ass black woman called the Mahonkahon.
Why are they black?
Wait, they're all women too. Like, how do they reproduce?
But
Asexually,
also,
they lay eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
God
go.
damn it.
Hell yeah.
They're like the reason we can hunt them is because we can legally classify them
This
as
is
like.
this is so racist.
Okay. We lost the plot on that one.
Cut it out. Cut it out of there.
We were good until that part.
None of this gets cut out. It stays in.
Jesus fucking Christ. That was,
Alright.
I'm upset that we did. We can't end on that.
No, that was
No,
good.
I guess we got to. Sorry. Bye.
Are we actually ending it on
We're
that?
done.
Good night and goodbye.